So in this video, I'm going to show you the easiest and simplest way that you can learn to draw the golf ball with your iron clubs. So yes, we're going to take a look at the iron clubs, we're going to look at the ball flight that you hit it, the shape that you hit it, and we're going to look at how you can work towards a draw ball flight. And it's still the ball flight that many amateurs would aspire to hit, even though we see so many of the pros out there now fading, you know, both their tee shots with the driver and their second shots into the green. But for many of you out there who have potentially struggled with left to right shots, slice shots, and you feel that your iron shots are just weak and not solid, a draw shot will give you a bit more distance. It will often feel a little bit better off the club face, and it'll often allow you to control your golf ball a little bit more. And as I say, in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to do that. So before we get started, just pop into the comments box. I'd love to hear your thoughts on currently where you are with your ball flights. Are you someone who's, you know, looking to draw the golf ball who's potentially never done that before? Or are you someone who goes through spells of maybe when you play your best, you draw the golf ball but struggle to maintain that? Or are you someone who's just maybe drawing the golf ball, would love to know a little bit more about kind of how to do it intentionally on the golf course? And what we're doing in this particular video is we're going to show you how to create a right to left ball flight without really changing where your feet alignment is. Because what I tend to find in my coaching is that when we get a golfer to aim out to the right, it really throws them out their comfort zone too much. And whilst this is often a decent way of doing it, it can sort of put you so far out your comfort zone that it becomes difficult to commit to the swing and actually organise the swing and hit the ball well. So we're going to do it from actually a pretty square alignment. So the first thing we need to do is look at the golf ball and where it's positioned relative to your feet. You'll notice I've got an alignment stick on the ground here. We're going to use that for reference. So when I take a setup here, I've got a 6-iron. You'll notice I've got that golf ball just forward of centre. Now, if I want to work the ball right to left and hit that draw ball flight, I'm going to move that ball a little further back. So you can see that alignment stick is now pretty close to the middle of my heels. Effectively, this golf club is moving around our body in a circle shape. And what that means is the direction that the club is travelling is never a constant. It's always moving. And if you're someone who struggles to draw the golf ball, whilst I don't know your golf swing, I haven't seen your golf swing, it would suggest that you're hitting the ball too late in the swing. And what we mean by that is as the golf club comes into the golf ball, my golf club is actually now travelling out to the right of the target. There is a point at where my club is travelling pretty much at the target. And then there's a point at where my club is now travelling to the left of the target, and you can see that. So where I hit the golf ball in that arc, in that circle, is really important. That's going to help my club path. So we want to try and hit the golf ball earlier in that circle. Moving that golf ball back is the first thing we're going to do. So job number one, or tip number one, is to set up with the golf ball further back than you would normally have it. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to offset that ball position even more by taking your hips and actually moving them slightly towards the target. I'm now setting a little bit more weight into my lead side. Typically I would like 55% of weight there for an iron shot. I want you to go a little bit more and maybe move that to 60, possibly even 65% of that weight on that lead side. As I do that, you'll notice those hips will almost slightly close. So my lead hip is moving slightly forward and the golf club is starting to twist and point a little bit out to the right of that flag. So now we've got the golf ball back, we've got the hips and the weight forward. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the grip end of the golf club and we're going to push that slightly towards the target. And we're also going to raise it up slightly. So that grip is going to move towards the target and slightly higher. And what that's going to do is that's probably going to mean that my shoulders also close a little bit more like my hips do. So whilst we haven't changed our lower body alignments, we've changed a little bit of our midsection and a little bit of our upper body alignment. And what we've effectively done by moving the ball back and by moving your hips forward and changing the handle position, we've effectively influenced the shape and the angle of that circle that you swing on. So we know that we swing the club around our body on a circle. What we've done here is we've effectively started to change how that circle is positioned relative to the target. Now, all of these things that we've done will influence how the club is delivered to the golf ball in terms of its direction. We're probably going to have the club path now moving slightly to the right of the target, and that is absolutely a non-negotiable. If you want to hit a draw shot for a right-handed golfer, the club needs to be moving to the right of the target. And we've done that through this setup. What we haven't done yet is we haven't addressed the club face. The club face would need to be slightly closed to that path if that ball is to draw back. So everything so far is really to try and move the club path more out to the right-hand side. How do we actually get the club face back towards the centre? Well, we're going to do that through a little bit of your skill and a little bit of your natural talent. I know you've all got loads of that. We're going to come to that in a moment, however. So, ball is middle, hips are forward and closed, handle is forward and up. And the key thing here for me is to feel, this is the key word here, is to feel like I never move to the right of where I started in my body. Now I can rotate, but I never want to feel as if I move too much off the golf ball, because what that's going to do is undo all those things that I've created at setup. So I almost feel, I have the sensation that my belt buckle and my buttons on my shirt, as I rotate into my backswing, I almost feel as if they stay target side of the golf ball. Now that's not necessarily the reality. We might not see that when we look at it on camera, but that's what I want you to sense. So just trying to avoid any movements off the golf ball. And then once I've done that, I'm in a great position where I can really sense that I now move my hips even further forward of the golf ball, and that's going to help me hit that golf ball very much from the inside. Now, when you do this in practice, what we'd almost expect is that you'd hit shots that go straight out to the right-hand side. So push shots, which is a great indicator that we're actually changing the path and we're doing some really good things. Now I'm going to hit one here. I've just kind of realised that wind is possibly a little bit stronger than I anticipated. I've got a 6-iron. I'm not even sure that's enough club here, so there's a very good chance I could make a great golf swing here and splash this ball in the water. But let's go ahead. So there's my sort of ball a little bit back of centre, sort of round centre. Hips go forwards and closed, handle goes forwards and up. And from here, I really want to feel like I now stay in front of that alignment stick and hit that big draw shot. Okay, start out to the right, turning over, and a very good chance that is quite a long way short of the green. Definitely the wrong club there, but it drew. It moved from right to left, which is exactly what I'm trying to achieve here. So that was a successful shot. I just need to sack the caddy and get myself a better one. So we're just going to make a new addition to that drill. Very often when I'm coaching a golfer to hit draw shots with their irons, there's a process. You know, it doesn't just happen in 1 to 2 swings. And what I'd be really encouraging you to do is set something like a head cover just outside the golf ball. Now, when you do this setup and you have it correct and you make all those movements that we've discussed, there's a very good chance that you'll miss that head cover because your club path is out to the right of the target. And like we said, that's exactly what we want. But we need that ball to draw back, as we've said, and we need that club face to be slightly closed. So the process I'd like you to go through is, when you go to the range and do this, absolutely start and just try and hit dead straight push shots that go out to the right of your target. That's our phase 1. That tells us our path is correct and what we've done so far is working. But what we do need to do is start to close the face. Now, how do we close the face? Well, like I said, I just want you to use a bit of skill. You know, if I asked you to stand up here and point the club down towards the ground, you could probably do that. And if I asked you to point the club up to the sky, you could do that. You could use your natural skill using your hands and forearms and wrists to change the club face. So once you've got that club moving out to the right of the target, what I'd really love you to do is, in practice, just start to rotate the face more over to get the golf ball to move back towards the target. It's getting really windy now, my bag's probably about to fall over. So why is that head cover there? Well, when we start to reference the target a bit more and we said we want that ball to finish on target, head cover's blowing away. When we start to think about that target, that's when we often start to change our path, because we often feel like there's a closer relationship between where the ball finishes and the path. So as soon as we start to want that ball to finish on that target, that's when we start to get this movement here and our path changes. So with that head cover in position, it's really encouraging me to still swing from that inside, but I now have to work the club face over in order to get that ball to turn back. So let's do that again. I'm going to do this at slightly slower speed, and hopefully we'll see that ball flight a little bit more clearly. So there's my setup, and then from here, out to the right and draw it back. Out to the right, ball's drawing back. Not quite as much as the last one, so it's probably going to go straight in the water, but it was a slower speed of swing. So that's the process. That's how we work into drawing the golf ball. I would love you to go through the setup changes and just start hitting straight push shots. That's a great sign. That tells you that your path has changed. It tells you that you're doing everything correct and the steps that you've taken so far have worked. We then need to work the club face back, but a head cover is a great addition to make sure that you're not then changing your club path in order to get that ball to finish on target. Like I said, it works with the irons fantastically. Also would work with the long irons, the hybrids, just maybe not so much with the driver. So keep it to the irons, work it at the range, take it to the course, and you'll be able to hit those beautiful draws and get a little bit more distance, a bit more consistency over that ball flight. Thank you for watching. Usual stuff is down below. Love to hear your thoughts. And also give it a thumbs up if you did like this video, and please subscribe. It is absolutely free. I'd love to see you back here again for a future video. Thanks for watching.